This recipe is one of the many recipes in my new cookbook, a plant-based love story for the plant eater and the future plant eater. This recipe is founded by my girlfriend and I, Donna, in this studio, cooking one day, and we're calling this recipe Donna's Balls. It's actually in the book. So click the link and get the book. It's amazing. Have a look at the ingredients. It's just exquisite. It's rice, breadcrumbs, psyllium, tamari, spring onions, ginger and garlic, and some sesame seed oil, and some eggplant. And these make up these amazing balls. They're exquisite, and you're going to love them. They're to die for. So the first thing you do is cook the eggplant. Chopping it up into regular, exact sizes preferably, straight into a pot, just into here. And then you're going to top that up with water. You're going to bring it to the boil, and you're going to simmer this away until the eggplant is soft. So there's no frying here, which is awesome with eggplant, because eggplant does suck up a lot of oil. So they're going to cook away. Eggplant has cooked. Come in here and have a look. It's not burning or sticking. It's mushy and very soft and delicious, and you're just going to drain it and make sure you get all that water out. And just push down, and you can see some of that water coming out. That's what you want to do. Okay, straight into your food processor. Along with the rice, some ginger, some garlic, spring onions, some beautiful fragrant sesame seed oil. Bring it home. Some tamari, a little bit of pepper, no salt at this stage because we use some tamari, and I always use salt reduced tamari. And throughout this cookbook I've got a whole pantry section to show you the brands and the isms that I use. So a bit of pepper. Now I haven't put the psyllium or the breadcrumbs in yet, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because we're going to blend this up and then we're going to fold it through and it's going to come together deliciously. Straight into your bowl. It's very wet, but don't worry, because what's going to happen, it'll be the psyllium and the breadcrumbs that suck up all this moisture. In goes those two. Get those bits in there. There's those. And give it a good stir. Now it's really starting to get thick, which is super awesome. That's what we want. This is where you need to taste for seasoning. Definitely need salt now. I'm so glad that I left the salt out. This tastes so good. This tastes so good. It's that beautiful ginger in there, you know. Oh, that breadcrumbs and psyllium is really bringing this together. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. This has come together beautifully. Look at this. It's not falling apart. It's just perfect. So I'm going to measure out 40 grams each ball. And the reason why I do that is I get a great even cooking time. Okay, perfect. And you're just going to roll them just briefly in your hand like this and straight into some breadcrumbs of your choice and keep going. And this is when you bring your friends in to come and help you roll the balls. We tried to come up with the right name, I swear to God, but it was just such a fun day in the kitchen, you know, when you have those fun days. And I'm so glad I put this in the cookbook for you guys at home. This is wonderful for a tapas. If you're having people over, Christmas Eve, Christmas lunch, any kind of Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthday, party, anything, just serve these. They're amazing, and they freeze really well as well. So what I do is I make them like this and then freeze them, and then I've got them on tap. And you can deep fry them if you want. It's up to you. You can use any breadcrumbs you like. Let them sit for a good 10 minutes in the fridge before you cook them, so they firm up even more.
Question, Chef.
Yes.
What does the psyllium do in this bowl?
The psyllium sucks up all the moisture from the rice and the eggplant, and so we don't get them falling apart, so they're quite firm now. But we want them to be firmer, so if we sit them in the fridge, they get firmer. And the psyllium works its magic, which is sucking up that moisture. Come out of the fridge, 10 minutes, they're really held together well. They're amazing. You want a hot pan and a splash of oil, and straight into the pan. You want to cook these till they're golden brown. So don't fiddle with them too much. If you're going to do anything, just move the pan like this, gently, just to shift them around and allow them to do their thing. No squishing them and pushing them around, because they squish up, right? You want them to just brown naturally and have that golden crispy texture on the outside.
But everything pretty much are cooked inside, right?
Yes, everything's pretty much cooked inside. We just want that crunch on the outside and want them to heat through. Some people put them in the oven. You could get a spray bottle and put some olive oil in a spray bottle and spray them and put them in the oven. I like it like this personally, but it's totally up to you. You don't have to use oil at all. Golden brown and crunchy, check it out, it's exactly what we want. And I just put the pan on the edge like this just to drain some of that little bit of excess oil off, and then straight onto a paper towel. My homemade teriyaki sauce, which is in the cookbook, and you just drizzle it along there like this. It's nice and rich and thick, and you only need a little bit. This is an amazing sauce. And then the balls just kind of sit on top of that. And sprinkle them with some spring onions and coriander leaves. This is Donna's balls. You can't fake it, I swear to God. This is real cooking, real people, real stories in my beautiful new cookbook, and these are incredible. Click the link below to grab a copy of my new cookbook, and I will see you online. I have just made a delicious quick pesto from the Dodgy herbs that were left in the fridge that I was going to throw out, and I was thinking, what the hell do I do with them? This is it. This is a coriander, dairy-free, gluten-free pesto that is epic in flavour, and this is one way to use up your herbs. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, ring the bell, ding, 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 ding. And I give you recipes and wisdom and philosophy, and I have special guests in the studio like healers and autoimmune specialists and people like that in this space, and you get a notification every week. So stay tuned, let's make this together. Finding some Dodgy herbs in the fridge like I have done now. When I mean dodgy, I mean I've used this and I've picked a lot off it, and it was quite a big bunch actually. It was quite full. I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with the rest of this coriander? I was thinking like, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to chop this coriander up roughly, right to the end. I'm going to keep those roots and put them in my freezer for one of my curries, which is super awesome. So this is a really quick recipe. Like I said, using up those Dodgy herbs, and this has to be coriander. So chopped up the coriander roughly by just running your knife through. And then smash a bit of garlic, just like this. It's just so cool. You're going to need some amazing olive oil, some water, a lemon, salt and pepper, which is just over here, but I'm just going to grab my trusty lemon juicer situation of epic amounts of glory, and some nuts. Now there's no rules here. You can use any nuts you like, and if you've got some Dodgy parsley in the fridge, if you've got some Dodgy rocket in the fridge, it doesn't matter. It's like completely your gig of what you want to do. All right, so nuts into here. Now, because I've only got a little bit of coriander, I'm probably using about half a cup of nuts. Actually, it's probably too much. I'm going to take some out. It's actually too much, Cynthia. It's way too much. So let's go 1/3 of a cup of nuts. It's about 1/3 of a cup. And I'm going to throw this coriander into here. It's just a little bit of pesto. It's not like I'm making a big jar of it or anything. Then I'm thinking to myself, that dodgy basil that I found the other day in the fridge. It's just really great to use up your herbs this way. That can be chucked in. Just there was a little bit there, you know, like what do we do with it? We can't throw it out. I've got to use it. Okay. That bit of garlic. Lemon juice. How much lemon juice? Well, not too much. Not too much because there's not a lot of herbs in there, okay? So I'm just going to do half a lemon, just like that. And I need salt and pepper. Okay. Got my oil ready. I want this to just combine. Does that make sense? It's like, as it's blending, I'm going to know how much oil to put in. And pesto is normally saturated in oil and Parmesan cheese. We're not doing that, okay? We're doing the opposite to that. We're not using Parmesan cheese at all. We're going to use savoury yeast or nutritional yeast. It just depends where you're from and what you call it. And this will give a little bit of cheesiness to it. And what's really cool as well, if you had the chili lying around, you'd chuck a chili in there, which is super cool because you get this beautiful flavour. So I'm just going to add like just a teaspoon, just a little teaspoon of this, just to give that little edge to it. That's always sitting on my shelf when I need it. Now, oil's ready. I've got some water ready. Taste it. Can you see in there, Gigi? It's kind of chunky, right?
Yeah.
It's nice. It smells good, right? You can smell that, yeah? So it's good to taste. Oh, yum. That's delicious. Okay, scrape down the sides just by pushing that back in. Okay, I'm going to add a splash of water because I don't want to add any more oil, just to bring it together. And I'm going to add a splash of maple syrup. Why, you ask? Because I want a little bit of sweetness to my pesto. It's my gig, it's my thing. It's a tiny bit. It's like half a teaspoon, like a tiny bit. Okay, we are ready. Take a look at this, Gungun. How delicious does that look?
Wow.
You can put this on anything. With corn chips as a dip. Like the world is your oyster. If I have friends coming over today, I've got something, a little we use them to have some corn chips or some veggie sticks, and I don't have to run to the shop. And having that dairy component out of the way, it makes it really super light, you know, when the dairy's not in there. It really does. I've had pesto out and it's like, ugh. Okay, into a jar and then straight into the fridge. And there we have it, man, like a beautiful, I call it a dodgy herb pesto. In other words, the dreads in the fridge. And imagine now you have, look how much I got out of that actually. Oh, I can't believe it myself, I'm shocked. And I was seriously going to throw those herbs out. Like I looked at them and I went, my default setting went, and I went, like to the bin, and then was like, no, let's make a pesto out of that. And it wasn't a lot of coriander either, you know. How long will it last? Just depends. I mean, I would put this with a lot of stuff during the week. Probably get 5 days out of it, I reckon. Share it with some family. Put it on any kind of wraps. I have it with rice. broccoli tossed with potatoes, with some pesto and some rice, pasta, potato salad, eggless omelette. I know, right? Any kind of dressing, it's the way to go. The world's most easiest burger patty. This is one of the recipes and many more in my divine new cookbook. I know, right? It's for the plant eater, the future plant eater, and all the people in between. It's amazing. This is so simple. Have a look at these ingredients. There's no beans or legumes involved here or even rice. It's really that easy. And the whole process requires a food processor and a bowl. I know, right? So this is all you're going to do. And this is the greatest burger on the planet because it's tasty, isn't it? Yeah. We make it all the time. It's great on a big burger bun with my amazing anti-inflammatory mayonnaise, which is another recipe in my cookbook. It's just amazing. I can't express to you enough how easy this is, and I'm so glad there's no beans in it, you know, legumes and stuff. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put everything into here besides the dry ingredients, which are the breadcrumbs, the flour, and the psyllium. That's going to sit aside. And then into the food processor is the mushrooms, the leek, carrot, garlic cloves, oregano, and now you're going to add your herbs. And some beautiful fresh basil and parsley, just chopped off roughly, just like that, and then straight into the food processor. I know, right? It is easy and simple with beautiful ingredients. And you're going to whiz this for about 5 seconds. Next, I'm going to add some salt and pepper, building blocks of flavour. I'm going to whiz it again for another 2 or 3 seconds. That simple. Straight into the bowl. Now you're going to add your dry ingredients, which is your breadcrumbs, your psyllium, and your cassava flour. Give this a really good mix. And it's quite crumbly now, and it doesn't look like it's going to hold. What you're going to do, you're going to take half of this, put it back into the food processor. And give it a whiz for about 5 seconds. Then you're going to take that. It's so cool. Every time I make these, I just think to myself, how easy is this? Every recipe throughout my cookbook is designed with your ultimate health in mind. In other words, your organs know exactly what to do with these ingredients. Unless you're allergic to something, that's a whole different story. And these are simple ingredients you can get pretty much at any supermarket or farmer's market. Amazing carrots and leeks and garlic, oh my goodness. And the dried spices. So now I'm going to take a bit of that patty. This is what I'm going to do. So just take it into your hand like this. And this is the important part of this whole entire cookbook, is understanding where you're at and with your intention. So for me, I'm feeling really excited, feeling a little bit rushed. I need to calm down, taste it. Make sure there's enough pepper and salt in there, which just needs a little bit more salt. Then I'm going to take each patty and I'm going to roll it into a ball like this. I'm just going to squish it down like this, and making a nice flat burger. And you're going to do that to every single patty, straight onto the breadcrumbs, and repeat. Tossing them in some breadcrumbs, straight over to the barbecue plate, just a splash of oil, and straight on. And you cook them until they are golden brown. nice and brown. Yummy smelling in the house, right guys? I've got some beautiful charcoal bread rolls. You can use any bread roll you like. I just want to toast them to get them nice and fresh. And I just put them at the end of the barbecue plate. And then we're going to put them all together and eat them. And this is one of the many recipes in my incredible cookbook that is all plant-based, that has incredible stories of each recipe in there, that has this ability to get you thinking about food and not just healthy food or trying to be healthy or trying to be plant-based. This is just deliciousness that's all done with real ingredients, and it's all gluten-free as well. Turn off the heat. A couple of these. Oh, they're hot, they're hot, they're hot, hot. A couple of patties. And then what you want to do is build your burger with anything you like. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. So I've got some lettuce, some tomatoes. I've got some sauerkraut because I had some in the fridge. I've got some of my lovely pickles, which is in this incredible cookbook. And they're the best pickles. Are they not the best pickles?
They are the best.
They're amazing. They taste just phenomenal. And then a patty and another patty. And you can have some of my anti-inflammatory dressing or tomato sauce on one, it's up to you, and that's it. One of the many recipes in my brand new cookbook. Click the link below, jump in, get it, it's amazing. There's nothing like flipping through a beautiful plant-based cookbook that serves your ultimate health, but gets you all yummy and nourished and salivation central.